I talk about exposure and response prevention quite often as the best, in my opinion, treatment for OCD and anxiety. I mean, you're actually facing your fears, retraining your brain. You are essentially becoming a researcher. You are doing experiments. You are testing the theory out. You are willing to take the risk that the fear that you currently have may be a false signal. I'm going to go through how you can do these experiments better when it comes to your treatment. Before I do this, I need to tell you about my friends over at No OCD. They provide therapy online for people struggling with OCD. Members do live video sessions with therapists who are specialized in treating OCD. They use exposure and response prevention, which is the gold standard treatment. Between sessions, members can access their self-help tools and peer support community. You can get started now by downloading the No OCD app for free. So how to do better exposures or experiments? One of the first things is to be aware of what the perceived threats actually are. These things that come to your mind that say, what if? Something like, if I don't check the door one more time, someone may break in. If I don't pray, God will smite me. If I don't put those knives away, I might react and do something. If I get close to that person, what if I like them? If I look at somebody else, maybe I don't really love my partner. If I touch this item, will I get sick? This is how you are keeping track of your fears. What does it mean for you if you don't follow through with the compulsion? That thing you do to make sure and to make you feel better. What does it mean because you have this certain intrusive thought? This shows exactly how we do these experiments. Your brain already came up with the threat if you don't follow through with the compulsion. Now it's your time to test the theories out. Each one is going to feel very real. It's going to feel so important. It's even going to feel risky. But just like any experiment, we do not know the outcome until it's tested. So what I would do is take one of my fears and I would test the theory out. My brain says, if you don't check the stove, it might start the house on fire. So guess what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to go check the stove. I'm also going to pay attention to all the compulsions my body wants me to do. Maybe it wants me to listen for a fire. Maybe I'm researching online to see what are the chances of a fire happening. I can't do any of these during the experiment because it messes up the data. I'm pretty much saying I am going to stay uncertain, but just in case I'm going to go check. That's not a great experiment. I just messed with it. Instead, I'm practicing staying uncertain, choosing to see what happens and what the outcome is going to be. I'm living life as if there is no problem to solve. There is nothing to solve. While I am sitting with this uncertainty, I might be practicing statements like, yeah, man, this house is probably gonna start on fire. That's awesome. It's gonna be my fault. Amazing, so cool. Here's the cool part. After a few hours, maybe the next day, who knows, your brain looks at that moment and says, hey, I told you you were in danger. The house is supposed to be on fire. Why is it not on fire? You didn't do anything about it. It should be on fire. Maybe I threw out a false signal. Maybe I kind of lied to you about this. And thank you for showing me that I threw out a false signal. So next time I cannot do that. I know that you don't respond to these things anymore. So I'm actually gonna go away. I'm gonna stop throwing out these threats because you just don't give in to them. You did this experiment to see what is going to happen. You tested the theory out. Your brain needs to know that you are testing, and you'll find over and over and over and over and over and over again that nothing happens. It finally gets it. The thing is though, we can never be 100% certain that our fear won't come true, which is why we accept the uncertainty of maybe it will, maybe it won't. We have to be willing to take that risk. It's the only way to retrain our brain and actually enjoy life more freely. I know what you might be thinking. Yeah, man, I can test that theory out for the example you gave, but mine's different. Mine is more dangerous. It involves my child. It involves my salvation. It involves death. This is one of the biggest pieces people need to get past. You are not special. Well, you're special, but your OCD is not special. Your anxiety is not different. It's still sending out false signals, and the only way to retrain it is to do these experiments. Meaning, I am not going to do these compulsions anymore. I'm going to avoid checking. I'm not going to rock back and forth. staring at the wall for the next 5 hours while I'm waiting for this uncertainty, I'm gonna continue living life despite what's going on around me. Anytime a threat comes up, the house is gonna start on fire. I'm answering, yeah, man, maybe, maybe not. Maybe we'll take out those marshmallows, roast them on the fire. That's gonna be wonderful, cool, awesome, hope so. That'd be great, thanks for the thought. And like I said, when you do the experiment, you get to the end, you realize nothing happened. Your brain learns from these experiences, but you don't just do it once, you do it a lot. You do it over and over and over and over again. And what you're going to find is that the 100 times you practiced it, it didn't happen. And the brain's really good at saying, yeah, but that next time is more important. The next time is gonna happen. But we don't fall for that because you'd rather live life and take the risk, even if it feels important. Make sure you download the No OCD app to help you on your treatment journey. My question to you is this: has your fear ever come true? Really think about it in your brain. The what ifs, those things that threaten you, have they ever come true? Sometimes they do. And when they do, it's that one time out of thousands of opportunities where it could have happened. But we don't take that one time and say, that means a lot. It's gonna happen again next time. Let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. The fear that you have current, that makes a lot of sense. Oh, what? Experiments? Experiments. I'm not gonna look back and forth to make sure there's not a fire. Living in Texas too long. Fire!